Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I was just sharing how, this is two of my favorite
I,
topics
I
today.
know. I was like, this is going to be juicy with Marsha today.
Yeah, I love this. Absolutely love this. Yes, activating your voice. It's funny because own your stage and activate your voice. I said when I started the intro, it's like if you can activate your voice, you can learn how to own your stage,
Yes,
right?
100%.
So, would you like to share who you are, please, with everyone?
My name's Meghan Weir, and I'm a big fan of Marsha. And I am a performance strategic coach, and I support entrepreneurs in moving from feeling anxious to aligned and anchored and alive, and support them in growing and scaling with confidence and clarity.
I love that. I love that. I am Marsha Van Winsberg, and I'm a NLP trainer. I love learning and helping people to unlock their voice and put their message and their story out there, really by changing the subconscious beliefs and thoughts and things that we hold on to that don't serve us. Learning how to rewrite those stories so that you can actually stand on whatever stage it is. Maybe your Instagram live is your stage, right? Like maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's actually a stage. But I love this topic, and I would love to see more and more women take the energy to take their stage.
Oh, me too. I'm feeling so giddy about this, and I just want to share. So if you don't know, now you know that Marsha and I are both the embodiment of each other's work.
Yeah.
And so I just want to share a quick story here. So let's go back in time for a moment. I was in university
Oh.
and I was in a public speaking class.
Mm-hmm.
And the professor invited me to come up in front of the class and speak for 2 minutes ad lib, and he'd give us the subject. So he invited me up and he said, okay, your subject is style. Well, if you know me, style is my jam. And I froze. I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do right now. I started crying. My classmates were prompting me, just asking me different questions. And I was just I went totally into this frozen state and I dropped out. I never went back.
You never went back to class. That class was done. You never went back.
I dropped out.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. I think it's good. I think I just want to emphasize that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then let's fast forward a little bit from there. So I'm in my coaching world and totally resisted the online space, but knew that it was required for me to just grow and expand. So I did my very first Facebook Live and pretended my computer crashed.
Oh no!
And I turned my computer off, and I was like, done, dead. And here we are. So I'm sure many people know now, but working with Marsha has allowed me to activate my voice. I started my own podcast coming into 2 years in January.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing my own book. I'm co-authoring in a book. We are doing a live event and coming on to the Instagram lives world and doing all the things. It's just so natural now. It's just so organic, and it just is so easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a lot of the work that I've done with you.
I just love this because people don't always know, they don't know this part of it. We've talked about it, but I really wanted to emphasize in this because, like I said, I just got so giddy when I saw what we were talking about today. Because if we didn't work on clearing the subconscious blocks that you had from the previous stories that you shared about your experience with using your voice, you would not be using your voice. I really want to just emphasize the importance. I can say, come on, Meg, you can do it. Come on. That's conscious coaching. And there's nothing wrong with that. But conscious coaching on its own is missing 95% of the beliefs that Meg was holding on to about not using her voice. And I think that's the important piece that I really want to anchor in on why this is different, because we were able to go in and work on clearing those blocks and beliefs of why you couldn't, so that you could. And I mean, what you've done in the last 2 years with your voice, I'm just cheering you on so big, so big. I love it.
Wouldn't be here without you, Marsha, truly, honestly. But I've had this deep rooted belief that nobody wanted to hear what I had to say.
Mm-hmm.
It was visceral.
So how does it feel sharing that? Because like this is the piece you can say, and I know there's going to be a lot of juice in this one today. You can say that I don't feel confident using my voice, right? You can tell a coach, I don't feel confident in using my voice. I don't know if I can say the right words together. Like those are surface conscious things. But when you actually get down to the root of it is like, say it again.
Nobody wants to hear what I have to say.
Right. And all of a sudden, right, when you uncover the root, then it's like, now we can address that. Now we can actually do something with this. This is like, even if it, and the thing is when you speak your limiting beliefs out loud, most people in your life are going to be like, that's ridiculous. That's not true. Well, that doesn't fix how you feel about them, right? It just doesn't fix how you feel about it at all. So that's the power of getting to the root of those subconscious beliefs, not just consciously cheerleading and pushing you on.
No. And literally that belief was so deeply rooted that it created so much paralysis for me.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we've cleared that, like now I'm learning to be a keynote speaker, right? Like who am I? Right? Like never in a million years would I ever have imagined that this is what's possible. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm cheering you on so much. And I want to share my reflection from this side of what I've learned. I've been speaking. I did my very first talk on stage when I was 11, maybe 10. And I actually asked to be part of a public speaking competition. And I went home and I said to my parents, I was going to sign up for that. And they were like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, why can't I do that? Like, I'm obviously not very good at listening. But I was like, why can't I do that? And they're like, because it's not safe. And I'm like, safe from what though? Like, I remember like, I don't understand. They're like, what if it doesn't go well? And it's so interesting, right? As a kid, that sounds odd to be asking to do something like that, but I could have also went, oh, that's not a safe thing to do. But that was somebody else's beliefs, right? And they meant well. There's nothing wrong with what they were doing, but they meant well. But I just was like, but I want to do it. And I don't know why I wanted to do it. I was very clear that I wanted to do it. And so I did. And I won my region and went on to the next region. And I could just picture, there are times I think of that 10-year-old self who was like, yeah, we're doing this. And even though it didn't make logical sense. Now, the reason I want to share it from this lens is because I actually then, when it came time to trust my voice and message of sharing a really difficult, vulnerable story, I was sharing the story of, as a mom who's dealt with teen substance abuse, I've had a lot of times of speaking over the years. Okay. So it wasn't new to speaking, but when I was sharing something vulnerable and really putting my story out there, what I was doing was falling back into my old patterns, my subconscious patterns. And that was like the talk has to be mapped out. It has to be like detail. The lines have to be done. I have to memorize it. It has to be perfect. That's how I approached everything. And to the point that there were a few keynotes that I did that like I broke down in tears. I remember one specifically when I was speaking to probably a group of 300 or 400 people, one of my very first ones. And I remember my husband at the time saying, like, I do think this is a good idea. Like, we're in the middle of this. Like, why are you doing this? I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing it, but I know I have to. And I turned and saw they had a picture. I had a picture up of the four of us. And then when I turned and saw it on the stage, I broke down crying because that was not what our life was. But I'm looking at it and I turned out and I'm like, no clue where I was in my talk, like none. Now I've got an audience of 300 to 400 people. And it was devastating because I remember crying, thinking like, I'm not perfect. Like, this is not okay. And so I share that because that was the lens how I took to, pouring my heart out on stage, that it had to be methodical and done like in lines, in order, in boxes and pieces, to the point that, I just recently did a keynote, which is, I actually have sat in how different I am as a speaker now, in that I knew where I was taking the audience. I knew exactly what I was covering in that time. And I spent probably 3 weeks before the talk listening to my own hypnosis and subliminal that I had created, anchoring in on how would it feel in my body to be on stage. And I had like 6 slides done. And I was like, I'm open to what message how I'm going to deliver this message. And literally 2 minutes before I go on stage, I pull the card out from under my chair. It says the word forgiveness. I look at Sue, and Sue is like, "You're being asked to lean in more." And I'm like, damn it. Like, I need to. So I changed in that moment of getting up to go on stage to deliver a keynote, doing a hypnosis for 145 women, which I've never done a live thing like that before. Like, everything in me should have been freaking out. And I was calm, and I felt calm. And so that I want to share that's something that I have learned through you, is that I feel like my voice is so much more activated and anchored. Anchored has been such a big word in the last 24 hours, if Kim happens to see this. Anchored in my heart, in the sense that it's like, I trust and knew it doesn't need to be perfect. It does not need to be scripted. That actually helps me to own my voice and stage even more. So it's so funny you share. Thank you for sharing what you did. And then I wanted to share from that lens. That's what I've learned about embodiment through you.
Yeah.
Is the power of connecting to the present and being like safe in the moment and trusting that it was going to, and it did. It honestly, I could have crafted that entire thing to be scripted, and it would have missed the magic that did happen because I gave room for letting it unfold in the moment.
Yeah. So it's beautiful in sharing what you just shared. So the last example, you got out of your head and into your body. And from that, like, people were moved. Like, I have seen messages, people have been writing to me just saying like how powerful that was. And I'm like, full body shivers. And then the other example that you shared, like, you were totally in your head, right?
Yeah.
And that is the power of getting out of the head into the body and just having that deep sense of trust within, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to that time, because I know for me personally, if I if I was in a room speaking on stage to 300 to 400 people and start crying, old version of Meghan would be like, I'm out. I'm never doing this again. And so how many times have you spoken now on stage?
Good question. Probably more than a dozen. If I had to guess. And like, a level of trust has just anchored in more and more every single time. It really has. The trust has also anchored in on like how I share in my podcast. Like, I actually listened to a podcast episode probably from 2 years ago. And honestly, I'm not being critical, because it's like, I am so damn proud of every single stage I've had. But I'm so much more deep, connected, trusting from my voice now than I was before. Like, that's the level. It's in everything that I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So many people, I understand, I believe this is still true, that they have such a huge fear of public speaking, more so than dying. Like, it's the number one. Yeah. So let's speak into that, because, well, another time where I didn't share this, I don't know if I've shared this with you, but I was invited to be a guest speaker for a graduation. And this high school had undergone a significant traumatic event. So they asked me to come in and speak. And so I crafted this beautiful speech, and I had a microphone, and I was in the middle of sharing a really powerful quote, but it was a little bit dark to move into the light. My freaking microphone died right in the point of the dark part of the quote. It was horrible, right? But it's like, in those moments when you're crying on stage, or if your microphone dies, or something happens with the tech, when you're like, because that happens too.
Yeah. And I actually, if I could just interject one thing there, like, that's normal. Like, I had a couple issues happen at my last event that it was like, oh man, we're going to have to roll with this, and you know what? Most people didn't even know what was happening, because we just roll with it. I've actually spoke at an event, this would be probably 7 or 8 years ago, where I was in a deep part of my story, like really, really deep. And the person running the sound turned on the DJ music. So it's like now picture, like, I'm talking about like one of the worst moments of my story, and it's like dance music takes over the entire room. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I don't even, and I mean, it takes them probably 30, 60 seconds to settle it down and get it changed. And I'm like, they're like, okay, continue. And I'm like, I don't even know what to sing. Like, I don't know how to drop back into that again. So it's like things will go wrong. Like they are going to go wrong. And with only being in your head, you can't get back in to the present to be able to drop back in again.
And you recently had another experience too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you talking about music? Yeah.
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 Yeah. But you were, go ahead. Sorry.
No. It just it didn't go as planned. And I mean, here I am getting ready to deliver. And all of a sudden I heard the music and I was like, fuck, that's not the music I picked. It's not even close to what I did. And I'm looking, they're all eyes are closed. And I was just like, okay, we're just going to go with it. And I'm going to talk louder and I'm going to talk louder. And, somebody said to me who did know was like that's terrible. And I'm like, what's terrible? And it was like, I didn't see it as terrible. I saw it as an experience. And she was just like that just ruined it. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know it was ruined. Like I was literally like, that's how I put words back on. And she's like, no, I'm not saying it's ruined. It's just, I'm like, but you know what? Shit goes wrong all the time on the stage. How you carry yourself.
Yes.
If you carry yourself in a way, they don't even know. They have no idea. Like they don't know. And so, yeah, I think being grounded in your voice and activating like in that space, you can handle when things do go wrong because they're going to. They're
You
going
will.
to. Mhm.
100%. And it's again, just being so dropped in. It's like, no matter what, you've got you, right? No matter
100%.
what.
I say it all the time. I say it
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. Oh, so juicy. So why are we speaking about this today?
Well, because we are together, you and I, we've, like I said, been the embodiment of each other's work for the last 4 years, but really the last 2 and a bit. Like we've been deep in working, supporting each other, like being in each other's energy in their containers and the programs, and really understanding that it's like, wait, like some of the things that I have learned the most have come through the work with you. Some of the changes you have had have also come through work with me. And we have been in this space of co-creating for like the last year. We've launched Alliance, where Alliance is our weekly co-working. I don't know. I always say that networking. It's not networking space, but it's like a space where it's like a mastermind, and we bring people in, and
it's a mastermind.
It's a mastermind, and we've been doing this for free. It's a space anybody can come into. And we started probably in April. And yesterday you had horrific weather and no internet. So I took them all
36
through
hours.
36 hours with no power. So we're happy to see you. I'm glad you're here. And, but I took them through a really deep question to the point where I was like, okay, here's the question. This is what we're doing. And they're like, really? Really? I'm like, yeah, I love this stuff. And so it's like, that's how we do. We don't do surface. We do deeper. We're here for like lasting, deep transformational change. Not like, oh my God, I hit a $10,000 business milestone. Like that has its piece, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for like the lasting change where you know that like you have you and you can take your strategy and hold that level of expansion in your business. And so we partnered and we have created the HeartWired CEO Mastermind. And I honestly, I'm with you. Like I have so many incredible things in my life and business that I love. And I'm so excited about this. Like I'm so deeply excited about this because I know the power of this work. It's changed my life and business in so many ways. And I've seen the impact of it. So this is what brought us together to do this 6-part series.
This is the legacy work. Yeah. What's really profound too, Marsha, is so I see, when we start our mastermind, HeartWired CEO Mastermind in January, we are literally like setting the stage month by month with what we're intended in delivering for the people joining forces with us. Like literally covered in shivers. Like we have the entire thing mapped out where we're building the stage. And then in the fall of 2025, we have created the stage for all of us to join forces on. And especially when you join us with the VIP, like you get to have a time on the stage of sharing your power, sharing your light, right? And this is the freaking legacy work that we're doing here. And it's, again, we're running alongside you. We're not here above you. We're here like joining forces with you and like, let's go, let's do this, right? Because I'm growing and expanding to the level that I never thought was possible. And it's because of the work that both you and I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I never, if I look back at the girl that dropped out of public speaking and is now learning to be a keynote and create her own live events, like, holy man, like right there is the embodiment, right? It's like we practice what we preach, we embody what we teach.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And I love that metaphor of like building the stage. I actually had a conversation, if I can share, with somebody yesterday. Actually, I've had two conversations. And she was like, the way you've laid it out is so detailed. Like it's incredible in how, everything stacks on top of each other. And I'm like, it does. There's a lot of thought that went into that process. That's the first thing. And then the second thing was, she was like, I so want to learn how to use my voice and share what I do. And I'm like, okay, the fact that you feel called to do it tells you it's available for you. Just for anyone who's listening, like if you feel called to it, it's available for you. You might not understand it. It might not make sense. And then comes the piece of, but I don't know why I'm not. I don't know why I'm not. And I could turn around and say, well, why not? Like, why? That's conscious coaching. And that's like, it's only going to give me 5% of the answer. It's not going to actually tell me anything. This is the work of the subconscious work. And I just want people to know, like, if you're in a space where again, I want you to know, like, your stage could be a stage as a keynote. It could be showing up for your business, showing up for yourself, speaking and talking about what you're here to do. Because you could have the best product and the best business in the world, literally like life-changing for everyone. If you can't talk about it and you can't speak it and share it, that's a disservice to your business. And there's more available for you. So I just really want to share that piece. That's not directed at anyone. That's just a conversation that keeps coming up because so many people are like, and I get it. The voice, like I hear you. I want to be able to share it like you. And I'm like, cool, go back and watch my very first podcast episode. Like it was just like, it was messy. It went out there and it did it. You've got to give yourself time to be able to learn how to embody that voice and do that. And I often think back of like how much faster it would have been if I could have learned this work sooner. Honestly, like
Seriously,
honestly.
truly. Yeah. And this quote swirls and twirls around everywhere, but the most successful people have failed the most also, right? Like, look at just from what you've shared, what I've shared, like, I wouldn't say that's a failure.
No.
But I dropped out. Like, that kind of, like, I can laugh at it now, but that ate at me for so long, right? And I think what's really powerful too here, Marsha, is like, maybe it's not even speaking on a stage or having a podcast or writing a book or whatever, like doing an Instagram live. Maybe it's having that power to be so dropped in to advocate for yourself. Like I've been navigating something on a professional level, which has been less than awesome. Yeah. And my husband is just like, he just wants me to be happy, right? He's just like, just let it go. And if it's easy to let it go, like I would let it go. But I was like, Craig, do you know how hard I have worked to find my voice? Do you know how hard I've worked to own my truth? I am not backing down. Like I am owning my power here. And that is from the work that you and I have done together. It's just like, no, like this is who I am. This is my values. This is my integrity. Like, no, like, and I can still speak with power and conviction from a place of compassion and integrity. Right. But that was me. I was like, no, because old Meghan would have been like, okay, it's okay. Like it will kill me inside, but as long as you're okay, it's okay. Right. It's like, no, like, so
I'll be fine. Don't worry.
Seriously, but this is the work. Like when we can have these boundaries within ourselves, we can have these boundaries within our businesses. Yeah. We are setting the stage for continuing to grow and expand from that empowered place.
Oh my God. Thank you for that example. That's a life example, because I think that is, and again, we have been the embodiment of each other's work. And I really want to make sure that anchors. And we're still doing it now. Like, because as you shared that piece, I am proud of you for using your voice with what you're walking through. I am so proud. It would be easier to roll over and go, okay, all right, that's fine. And you're not. You're like in a space of like, no, I'm speaking up for me because this is not okay. And I'm so proud of you for that. And the work that I've done through you has helped me at this point in time where like a lot of things in my personal life are going in ways I'm like, wow, is this out of control right now? And It's like, but I have a business that's growing in opportunities. I need to be showing up for my business. I can't show up for my business if I don't show up for myself. Yes, this is still happening. How can I anchor back into the moment and be in a space of this? Like that actually, that's as you said that's actually really landing for me because I'm still using those tools on a daily basis right now.
Mm-hmm. So imagine joining this mastermind and you have two individuals who are highly trained. Marsha is an NLP trainer. I'm a master practitioner in all the things that Marsha certifies people in, but I also am like so in love and obsessed with rough resolution therapy. So imagine having two mentors to support you because yes, we can share with you all the systems and strategies and structures to grow and expand. But it's this work right here that we're talking about that when life's happening, right? Or if business is happening, you have
or both.
You have two mentors, not one, but two mentors who are highly trained, highly skilled, highly embodied to support you in navigating all of the things that come when you are growing and scaling your business.
Yeah, that's such a great point. I love that you said that. We're very invested in the work because we do it ourselves, and we're very invested in our clients having like the best transformation that they can in their life and business. It's a bold thing for us. It's a bold thing. And that is really because they get to design their life and business the way that suits and supports them, right? It's not us saying, here is your roadmap for how you're going to do your program. And, they're like, but I don't actually want to do it that way. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter. This is a roadmap. That's not how it works. We don't do things like that. So it's it's not cookie cutter. We've poured a ton of time and energy into this, but not just this, but becoming this version so that we can support the group. So as we're in this space right now, we start in January. So if you have questions, please reach out and ask myself or Meg about the HeartWired CEO Mastermind, because you can join the mastermind or you can join it as the mastermind plus VIP, which is more one-on-one support as well. You can do both, either one that works for you. But this is a 1-year container that also leads towards like setting and building that stage, leads toward being in a space that you take a stage at our event in the fall of 2025. And that is really what we're working towards and stretching you, because I love stretching clients. I love that. I love seeing them grow. I do. Sorry, just so you guys know, I do. A lot. So it's just because I can see what's available. I can see what's available for people. And it's like, I want you to have no regrets. I want you to step into, and I know that we both do.
It's why I get up every single day. It's why I can't sleep at night. Literally. It's like, it is so deeply rooted in my heart that I just want people to just share their gifts with the world to make the world a better place. Like that. This is literally why I do what I do. It's because of you.
Oh, I'm grateful. I am grateful to link arms with you, and I'm grateful for all the women that we are going to get to support through this process. So we do have the numbers. It will be less than 10, 10 or less. We will not be more than that. And we're having a number of conversations right now. So if this speaks to you, please, please, please reach out. You can just have a conversation. Somebody booked a call yesterday just to talk about it. Yeah. And we can absolutely do that. If you are in a space where it's like, I'm just really starting in my business, but I want to own this energy, this is what I want to be doing, then you're still very welcome to 100%. Join us. Yeah.
Yes.
Very, very
You don't have to be earning a certain amount of money. You don't have to we are creating the foundation for you to grow and expand no matter what level of success you are. This is very unique to I don't know anybody else that's doing this, that's trained to the extent that we are and have. I've been in business for 9 years. I think you've been in business for 9. How long have you been in? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But collectively, we have an abundance of years of experience. And yeah, well, I won't go into all the details that come up as a business owner. But it doesn't matter. But we're building a strong foundation for you just to continue to grow, expand, and scale.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And we're grateful to be able to link arms and help you along the way. So if you have any questions, please just drop in and connect with us. If you're still not sure and you want to get an idea of what our energy is like, you are welcome to join us in Alliance. You can comment Alliance below. That's our free networking space. Either one of us will drop the link in there. for you to join us. We meet every Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. EST, 8 a.m. PST. And it is just a beautiful space where like these women, they are stretching themselves. And I love it. Love, love, love seeing it. So you can also join us there.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. Oh, we have an alliance already.
There we go. There we go.
Love it.
See, you got to ask. You have to ask. You got to put it out there.
Love it.
It's so good to see you. I'm so glad you have power back. And honestly, we're so excited. This whole series, we did a 6-part series on the heartbeat of my business. They are all in our Instagram for the lives. They're being repurposed as podcasts. So you might be listening to it there. The content, even in these 6, is a glimpse of the work that Meg and I are here to help you through.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Amazing. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you.